guys. This seemed like a nice little pretty evening to film the intro for this video. So this one, it feels like it's been a long time since I worked on the truck, and I know you just watched the video last week, so you're like, what are you talking about, Rob? You were re-welding your hitch, and you were talking about air ride stuff and blah 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 blah. Well, I film ahead when I can, and some of that wasn't as recent as it looked like, within a couple weeks though, and some of that wasn't as fun. Some of it's fun, some of it's not. Anyway, today's fun stuff. Looking forward to it. Been looking forward to it, and mostly because I've been doing a lot of projects. So without getting into too many details, house painting, barn painting, driveway paving, landscaping, you name it. I don't hire anything out. I do it all myself. So it's a lot of friggin' work. But with what I did myself in the last 6 weeks, probably saved myself close to $20,000. So that's why I do it myself. At any rate, you don't care about that. You care about the trucks. So we're gonna get into this Underglow project, which I never really thought was my style. But man, the more you're around shows and show trucks, I like it a little bit. I don't want to go crazy, but a little bit is cool. And I'm also going to delve into, we're going to talk a little bit about sponsorships and product placements on YouTube, and my experience with one and my thoughts on it as well. So anyway, stay tuned. Let's go get the truck. This is the fun part. I'm going to rewatch this video of me pulling the truck in probably about 10 times, so I know you'll like it too. Hang tight. So here's what we've got to play with. I want to do a little bit of a poor man's Underglow kit. And I have to admit, I got this idea from, I watched one of Flannel Phillips' videos from, I think, 2 years ago. And this was the method he used, and I gotta say I like it. Because, they make some fancy, brackets for Hero watermelon lights. And you can run the whole length of the frame, and man, it would look incredible. But I'd have about $1,000 into it, and I have well under 100 into this, so that's what we're doing. So the thought is, just take a standard 4-inch round light bracket. You can mount it wherever, and yeah, some cheapy LED in it, and I wire it to a separate switch, and off we go. I also got some just standard 3/4 inch LED button lights, and those are going to go under the hood a little bit. We've got some tin here and here that I think we can get some light casting down inside the front axle, and yeah, we'll play with this. But I've got 4 of the brackets and 4 of the big ambers, and then 10 of these, which I won't use 10, but these are separate. This is just, I think I'm gonna do some back of cab lights here, and pick a spot and put a couple of those boys because I think it would look good. Those will obviously just be wired in, you know, with brakes and whatnot. The last part of the project, I don't even know if I'll have time to get to all this today, the wiring side of things, is I had this secondary inverter in my camper, and I'm just not using it. So my thought is, I've already got the cables and everything, so this is a freebie, is we could mount it here inside the storage box, and we're right next to the battery box. So a couple holes right down here, some grommets, and in through here, and it doesn't get a whole lot easier than that. So yeah, like I say, I got cables already that'll be a hair too long, if anything. They're the perfect length. That way when we're at shows and whatever, we got some options there. So yeah. Now guys, let's do the part where I want to talk about product placement or sponsorships or whatever you want to call it. So you know, this is a small channel, obviously. I've been contacted probably 3 or 4 times total about using somebody's products. And quite frankly, usually it's really just junk, cheap Amazon lights and, I don't know, miscellaneous aftermarket parts. And usually if I respond at all, I respectfully decline. You know, clearly they're Indian and Chinese and Taiwanese companies. And I'm not interested. And I'm not interested in putting that stuff on my truck. I'm not interested in vouching for it for somebody else because it's junk. But I got contacted here, probably 3-4 months ago now. And it was by a company that's kind of in between. I mean, it's not dirt cheap, but it's certainly not high end. You know, I'm being honest, is I'm just going to put it out there for you and tell you like it is. It was, the name of the company is Parts AM. And I do have a couple of their stuff on the L9000. I think my turn signals and my headlights are Parts AM, and possibly the markers too. I don't remember. But at any rate, you see them on Amazon a lot. You can buy from them direct. They're on some other sites here and there. Like I say, it's not completely cheap stuff, but it's not bottom of the barrel. It's not top of the line. It's somewhere in the middle, probably more a little towards low end. And I've seen them. I've seen a couple channels I watch, you know, do sponsored product placement with their stuff. So they hit me up, and they specifically wanted me to look at some of their watermelon light. So it's a replica of the Hero stuff, and they call them dual revolution color changing watermelon lights. And so I said, you know, I would have been thinking about doing this Underglow system like I'm doing right now. And so I got back with them. It took me probably 3 or 4 weeks. I responded right away and said, you know what, I might be interested, but give me some time to think about it. So I thought about it. I planned it out. And I went back to them, and I think I asked for 11 of the amber to purple watermelon lights. And then I think it was 10 or 15 of the 3/4 button LEDs that are also color changing. And so amber to purple. I thought, man, it'd be cool. I could do a little bit of amber. I could switch it and do purple too. Not really my style, but I thought, you know what, it might be kind of sweet. So, didn't hear from him for like a month. So I got back from vacation, and I just responded, hey, just making sure this email went through. You know, I'm hoping to do this here sometime in August and before my shows. And they came back to me and said, basically, that's too much. Now, mind you, they have their lights on sale right now for $22. Those color changing Heroes are $22 a piece right now. So we're talking less than $250 in those, and that's at retail. So it doesn't really cost them that much. We all know that. And then the other ones were, I don't know, $5-6 a piece. So you know, there's another $100, let's say. So we're talking about $350 worth of stuff. Their cost probably less than $200. You know, and I'll be honest with you, I went back to him and I said, you know what, I think we should just forget it, because why would you approach somebody? And I get it. It's a small channel. I'm not anything major, and that's not what it's all about anyway. But why approach somebody if you know, would you want me to test one light? I'm not gonna mount one light on my truck. So, you know, I'll be honest with you, I'm not gonna mince words. I'm probably not gonna buy their stuff anymore because that's just dumb. So for anybody out there watching, for companies doing sponsorships and stuff, just be honest, just be upfront. And if you're not willing to put your money where your mouth is, then don't do it. Don't offer it up. It's just as simple as that. So just as usual in the world, if you just be honest and straightforward and take care of your business, everything works better. If everyone would operate that way, we'd be fine. So instead, what I did was I spent all my own money on what I wanted to do, and I think it's gonna be just as cool. And I don't know if I like the color changing part of things anyway. So we're gonna stick with just amber. That way, when it's going down the road in a show or you know, a light parade, the rest of the lights are all lit up amber, and then the underglow is amber too, and I think it just works. So I'm off my soapbox now, and if you're going to ask me to do a sponsorship, just expect me to be honest about it. I'm going to tell you whether it's any good or not, and I'm going to be honest if you are just horses, you know what, about it too. So let's get on with the project, guy. Well, surprise, surprise, I've jumped ahead. I've got the 4-inch round lights all installed. So there's the first one. You can see it's on this little lighting cross member that I installed back when I built the truck. And now it's got a light. So this one was going to light up, you know, the hitch and the bags and the axle and the whole rear end. Really, really nice. I've got asphalt millings all over me. Not that I didn't already. So I'll take you under here. And then, you know, I had these triple markers already installed. Those come on just with the rest of my running lights. And they actually light up under here pretty well. So what I did was I went up onto the this cross member here. If you look right here, straight up, so some of that light's going to come straight down, obviously, onto the drive shaft. But some's going to catch back here onto the back half of the shaft and onto the ground in front of the axle. And it's going to probably, I think, light up right even with where those 3 markers are lighting up. But then if you look, and we go straight across from the light down, you can see we've got the backs of the tanks and those stainless mud flap weights. These flaps I have on the, I got a flap. No, that's not tearing. That's where I've got a cut in it. Anyway, sorry, shiny things. Anyway, I think we're gonna get some light casts onto that, and inherently a little bit onto the back of the drivetrain a little bit. So that's that one. And then I did one on each side. I was able to do stainless self-tappers right into some of that cab structure box right there. And so that comes down, and you can see we got the same effect going. It's going to light inside the wheel well a little bit, but it's also going to cast light down onto the fronts of the tanks. You know, frame rail on this side, and then on the other side is where we've got the train horns. So it'll do that same thing. You can see the light there. And if you can see, it's right. Where is it? Oh, yeah, it's there. There, casting right down onto the same thing. Mud flap weights, train horns, front of the tanks, all that good stuff. All right, so the inverter is the next order of business. Found a grommet. I think it'll work. And mark the holes on the outside, drilled them with the step bit. Gonna drill a hole in the bottom and make it happen. All right, well, that was easy enough. That going in, grommeted, stainless hardware. She works. About as simple as it gets. Love it. Well, as expected, I did run out of time, but we did get the inverter done. We got the lights all mounted. You can see the button lights up there. Actually ended up using some ones I had from a local supplier. I had 3 out of the 4. I didn't like how the ones I bought online fit. they were too tall of a rubber grommet, and so they were loose in the hole. So I'm gonna pick up one more of those this week, and we'll wire those in. Didn't do the rear light, the stop turn tails or whatever for the back of the cab, because this whole panel needs to come out, and I'm just not feeling like taking that out today. I also plan on installing a little powered subwoofer that I'm hoping will mount right there where the old manual vacuum operated windshield washers used to be. So if I'm going to take all that apart, I don't want to do it twice. So I'll do that all in one shot. And I also don't have the right size hole saw kit anyway, or a hole saw bit. So I'm going to get myself the things I need. I ordered one of those little Dymo embossing guns. And I had just a label maker set of labels on the, for this dashboard stuff previously. And I just didn't like how it looked. I don't know, you could see fingerprints and it was too modern looking. This is not as perfect as I'd like it to be. I'd love to get some little, like actual placard labels made. But I kind of dig this. I did it because it fits. It fits the era. It just, I don't know. I like it. It's not perfect. It's imperfect, just like this truck is. And it's work truckish, and I like work truckish. So anyway, we're gonna flash forward, and you're gonna see this video after I've come back after probably a week and wire these lights up, and we'll be able to show you some nighttime footage of how it looks, and I'll be back. I'm taking this old girl for a ride right now. Well, guys, I'm back, and I got smart. Well, first, I finished asphalting the driveway earlier this week. Then I pulled the Lodestar out, and yeah, I didn't pull the stacks. And obviously, she don't fit in the barn with the stacks on. It only takes, honestly, about 5 minutes to pull those, but I don't think I'm gonna. It's just not worth it. I think what I might do instead is just move my jacks, and when I get to, which is another video, but when I get to painting here, I'll probably just, that cab's on casters, so move my jacks and caster that cab back here. And then I have all the room in the world to get around this thing, get wheels pulled, and do some masking and some quick frame rail paint. So, but in the meantime, what we're after is wiring up these Underglow lights, because I want to see these boys tonight lit up. So I'm going to get after that, get some tunes going. All right, well, I've done a little disassembly. You'll see that, what we got going in another video. But it's going to make wiring that one a whole lot easier without this catwalk on. But as you can see up here, or maybe you can see right there. So that's my line for these lights. In my case, I've got to get above the crossbars for my stacks. So, and I don't want to be too low. So I think that's a good spot. Okay, second attempt at filming this. You guys can see here on this junction block on the back of the cab, we've got tractor right-hand turn and tractor left-hand turn. I put trusty old test light on them, and sure enough, these are a combined signal, just like that is at the back of the truck for brake lights and turn signals. And they're green for right and yellow for left, just like they should be. And I've got it literally right here. So it's as easy as a couple ring terminals, catch ground on here as well, and bada bang, bada boom. It's all behind the panel. We've got the lights right there. All right, well, there we go. Hard to see in the daylight. Let's get that turned off. Again, we'll show you later on. That's just tails there. I like it. Sweet. Okay, well, it is the next day. We're done testing with the, and we are all loomed all the way up to each and every light. Crosses right here with another set of wire packs, and goes up. Everything is working. It's this switch. It's my last unused switch. It's labeled glow, and yeah, they work, but it's daylight, so you know, you can't see much. I did some other odds and ends in here. I straightened my steering wheel. It had been crooked. Let's take you out a little bit. I had forgotten a label, so I labeled my washer. And I did some resealing on some of the vents. Had to drill an extra hole in the dash, which I hate to do, but she was loose. These dashes are a little brittle when they get old. The other thing I guess I'm going to include in this video is I need to get some tunes fixed up. And this is where it's going to go. Let me show you. So right now I just have a stereo. It's an aftermarket Bluetooth and AM FM. Just a basic head unit with a couple little 6-inch speakers that were in the ceiling, which isn't originally where they were. Somebody added that stereo. They don't work real well in the ceiling, but the holes were already cut in the headliner, so I reinstalled in the ceiling. So it is what it is, but it's just a, you know, an unpowered basic deal. And a loud truck, it's not real clear, and it's, you can't hear it. So this is what I have decided to go with. So this is a just a, you know, Amazon special. Rockville's it's not a high-end name, but it's a name. This is a powered subwoofer meant to go under the seat of a vehicle. So it's meant to go in tight spaces. I don't have room to build a box and put a separate amp, and you know, I like my music to sound good, but I'm not like an audiophile, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is what we're going with. I think it's going to be plenty of sound for a regular cab truck. This is a 10-inch subwoofer, and yeah, just basic. It's got a little switch, so you can turn it off and on. I believe it's also powered. It automatically comes on. Yeah, auto power on, so you can turn that on or off, but normally it just comes on with the signal from the stereo. So I had already previously ran whatever you call those things, RCA cables, so they're already through the headliner. And yeah, so this is gonna be pretty easy. We're gonna plug those in, we're gonna run some power and ground. I've got some heavy 6 gauge, which is almost too darn big for that, but it's gonna work. Better to be slightly too big than too small, right? Okay, well, here's the brackets I'm going to use to mount to that existing standoff off the floor. So we're looking at backwards here, but obviously you can see I drilled the little 1/8-inch holes for just some screws, and then it'll sit like this across that bracket, And I used the step bit, this will allow me to recess those bolts. So drill some 1/4-inch holes into that steel, put the bolts through, big enough hole to fit a socket to tighten them down, and then it can still fit flush right there. That's aluminum, looks nice, don't have to paint it. Good to go. Also drilled the hole, still got to grommet it and sheath it, but made my cables and drilled the hole to get it into the cab. So we got our cables in. So now we'll get it mounted, get those attached, then we can take the slack out, we can seal up the hole, plug everything in, zip tie it, and once we know we're good, we can put our trim back in and put her back together. Well, it is early the next morning. You're on like day 4 of days of work on this projects that go into this video, but I still got to vacuum up the mess. But yeah, there we go. Powered subwoofers installed. Everything's loomed and zip tied. Panels back in. And I can't show you, let you listen to what it sounds like, because I film on my phone and I don't even have an antenna hooked up on this, so I listen exclusively to Bluetooth music. So short of getting somebody else's phone and my family and hooking it up and blah 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 blah, sorry you don't get to hear it, but it does sound good. It's not perfect. I got to be very careful that it's not bass heavy. I'm not a big, I want it to sound good, but I don't want crazy bass. But that little switch, I'll show you. This is where I mounted that little switch, and it actually comes in really handy. I've got the bass turned almost all the way down on the subwoofer itself, but if I do get a song that comes in a little heavy on bass, I can turn it down here. I just reach down with my left hand, so super handy. But I mean, short of a cleaning, the interior is put back together. Every light works, every switch works, and yeah, we are in very good shape. So I'm gonna show you guys a quick clip now of what all these lights look like when they are on. So overall, I'm really happy with how these lights turned out. The glow, my only complaint on the glow is that just like my cab marker lights, those rooftop lights, those 4-inch round ones I got have a little bit of a lighter yellow color versus the deep amber of the rest of them. So it's fine for now. My OCD in the long run, I guarantee you I'll probably be changing those out, and we'll just get some deeper ones. The nice thing about using standard 4-inch round lights is that I can change them out, but you can see those button lights inside the fender wells really light up the motor and the whole front axle assembly. I'm really pumped about those the most, I think. When you get over to this side, you can see lights up the turbo really well and looks pretty sweet. So you know, again, for like $100 and materials and a few hours of work, this is a pretty nice poor man's Underglow kit. Guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate it as always. Stay tuned for the next one. Y'all take care.